Welcome, College Hoops fans, to the 2K Sports Season Preview Show. We're glad to have you along for what's sure to be another outstanding season of college hoops action. I'm Greg Gumbel, and with me at the anchor desk, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're ready to give you a look ahead to all the ups and downs of the upcoming season, so let's get the ball rolling with the best teams in the nation in the very first Top 25 poll of the season. These are the top 5 teams in college hoops as we begin the new season. The Pittsburgh Panthers come in as the #1 ranked team, followed by Penn State, Dayton, Duke, and Massachusetts. So, Clark, what's your initial impression of our top 5 teams?
Those are some terrific teams, Greg, and the thing I find most fascinating about the top 5 is the number of contrasting styles we see here. These teams couldn't be more different, and I love when we have that kind of diversity at the top of the poll.
The Pittsburgh Panthers are projected as the favorites here in the early going. They've got a whole crew of high school Mr. Basketballs on this team.
A team is usually happy to land one Mr. Basketball, but with the number they have, this could be a golden era of basketball success at this university. There's nothing but good times ahead.
Penn State is in the #2 spot. Certainly, they'll get a big boost from the return of their leading scorer from a year ago.
That's a big advantage for them. They don't have to spend the first few weeks of the season searching for that go-to guy. They know who he is, and they'll use him.
Dayton comes in as #3. Their tournament last year came to an abrupt end with a loss in the second round, Clark.
It can be demoralizing for a team not to get past the first weekend of the tournament, but they've had all summer to forget about that loss and instead build on the positives from last season.
Duke starts the year as the 4th-ranked team. They are a very strong team, but they have plenty of competition from within their own league.
That'll work to their advantage, Greg, because they'll have been through so many battles by the time March rolls around, tournament pressure won't bother them at all.
Massachusetts is the #5 team. One bit of good news for them, they have last season's leading rebounder coming back for another year.
With that low post presence already established, they'll have a little bit of swagger heading into the season. I look for them to be sharp right from the start.
Here's the next group of teams in our preseason top 25. What's your impression of that set of teams?
We've seen plenty of future national champions come out of this group from the middle of the top 25. I'm not willing to say just yet whether that is going to happen again this year, but a few teams certainly have the potential.
The Boston College Eagles, the #14 team, have stirred up a lot of talk in the offseason. They carry over 3 starters from last year, so there shouldn't be too much of a learning curve for this team.
Yeah, they've got the core of that team coming back, and that's going to be huge for them. There won't be much of the feeling out process that so many other teams will have to work through early in the season.
The California Golden Bears, the #12 team, have also generated a lot of interest. A big positive for them will be the return of their assist leader from last season, Clark.
Having a floor general like him coming back will give them a leg up on a lot of teams that will be searching for an identity in the preseason. He'll make sure everyone is involved in the offense right from the start.
Okay, Clark, let's take a look at the teams that close out the preseason top 25 poll. What do you think of this collection?
This looks to me like the deepest preseason top 25 poll we've seen in years. I think there are teams even all the way back in this group that are legitimate national championship contenders.
The Michigan Wolverines, the #21 team, probably deserve a closer look. They have no fewer than 3 high school. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, the #16 team, are also worth keeping an eye on. They had a wonderful year last season, finishing with 24 wins.
That says a lot about the team they had last year. But trying to rack up that many wins shouldn't be their goal. They need to focus on just playing good basketball and getting to the conference schedule with a nice head of steam. The wins will come.
As usual, we have a lot of new coaching hires to tell you about as we start the season. Here, the USC coach is one of the hires that drew a lot of media attention. The USC Trojans have a lot of fans that are. The South Florida coach also made a move to a new school, and that's generated some excitement on that campus. The South Florida Bulls are a team looking to rebuild under their new leader.
This is a big break for him. He's paid his dues with a lot of stops along the.
We've come to the part of the show when we look at the top players in the nation and unveil the list of our preseason All-Americans. There before you are the 5 first-team All-Americans, the UC Davis. As for our next first-teamer, Kansas State is more than willing to go into. Next up is a player that's drawing. Let's move. And finally, now let's move on to the second-team All-Americans. Not such a bad list. And here we have the final. All right, Clark, that should do it for us here.